Well. Chapter 3. Luca was not so convinced by Grandad's matter-of-fact explanation for the blowing off of the tunnel lid. He had been there, and he had heard the noises. That was not gas, it was ghosts. He knew it, and he told the girls so. They were a bit more sceptical. Emily thought the gas theory was the best one. Esme tended to the ghost view, and Yaya was just intrigued. They were sitting in the breakfast room discussing all the previous night's events when there was a crash from the Inglenook fireplace. The copper kettle had fallen out of its old niche and rolled under the table. Yaya picked it up and took it back to where it normally sat, and then she cried out, "Oh, look! Look at this! It's a little fairy." Oh. She held up a small green figure with an old-fashioned gnome's hat. "It's not a fairy, it's a leprechaun," announced Emily. "What's the difference?" asked Luca. "Well," Emily paused, "leprechauns are Irish, and they're lucky. They're sort of fairies, but Irish ones." "Well, this is an English house, so what's an Irish fairy doing here? Must be lost," Esme giggled. "I think this is another sign from the ghost," said Luca very seriously. "Don't be daft," said Yaya. Esme was now holding the little fellow and inspecting him closely. He was rather battered, his green trouser suit torn and stained, his hand and feet just unravelling cotton, and his red hat was torn. He had a little yellow scarf around his neck, and his left arm was in front of his face, almost as if he was dancing or perhaps running. "He looks sad to me." He did. "He's trying to tell us something, I know it," said Luca. Grandad came in, and they showed him the leprechaun, and he sat him down on his spectacle case. Ooh. He doesn't sit very well on my case, does he? Well, perhaps there? No, I think if we put him, let's have a look. So if we get him like that, there we go. I say, looks like he's drinking to me. And then when they looked again, it did. And he didn't look sad anymore. Where did he come from? And when they told him, Grandad smiled. Stranger and stranger. Never seen him before. It's a funny old house, this one, that's for sure. No one could disagree. It was the ghost who knocked over the kettle and let the leprechaun free, said Luca. Daft, said Yaya. Grandad was really a bit distracted. He was worried about the cellar, what he might find, what it might mean. Would the old house foundations be okay? Would the gas be poisonous marsh gas, methane? If it was, would it be inflammable? So could the gas boiler in the cellar cause an explosion? Should he call an archaeologist or a gas man? Or was it just an old sealed well? What would Judy want him to do? And most of all, of course, he was curious, but he was not thinking of ghosts. That was Luca's job. Judy came into the breakfast room and saw the leprechaun. She picked him up. Oh, how wonderful. Looks like he's reading a book. I wonder what it's about. Where did he spring from? She smiled when Emily told her. Well, perhaps we are being haunted by a playful ghost. I think we should put him back to his proper place. And she put him back at the side of the shiny copper kettle. Luca smiled at an ally. Esme thought the leprechaun smiled too. Where's Grandad? He had been there just minutes before, but was now gone. There was a scraping, banging noise coming from the cellar, which seemed to answer the question. Oh no, what's he up to? Luca, go and tell him to stop. We need to think about all of this before rushing in where angels fear to tread. In the cellar, Grandad had opened the little window high up at ground level and set a large fan going to disperse the bad damp smell. When Luca arrived, he was pulling the tunnel lid away from the entrance to get a look down. Well, it wasn't a well. It was a staircase, a tight, twisting stone one, like you get in old castles. And this one was very tight. He sighed. Luca was by now standing at his side, looking down the steps. Wow, it's a real tunnel. So it must go somewhere. Come on, Grandad, let's go and have a look. We just need a couple of torches. It'll be so cool. A real tunnel. Awesome. Then a thought struck him, and a touch of nervousness crept in as he remembered last night's noises. What if there are ghosts down there? I mean, will they hurt us? Judy was suddenly standing beside them, peering down. Well, it was a tunnel. She looked at Grandad with a knowing, sad grin. But you're not going to get down it. There was a giggle from behind. Emily, Esme and Yaya started chanting, Who ate all the pies? Who ate all the pies? Grandad smiled ruefully, admitting to himself that he'd not only eaten all the pies, but the trifle, the Christmas pudding and most of the chocolates. Hey-ho, he sighed again. But I'm going down, said Luca, with some determination. Now this was a problem. Grandparents are sort of not quite parents. They tend to be more indulgent and a bit softer than the real thing, but they are always worried that they are responsible. Letting a young half-grown boy go off down an unknown and probably unsafe tunnel was not responsible. Oh, no, you are not, said Grandma Judy with some finality. Grandad, close it up again and we will get a specialist in to see what is to be done. Lucas stamped his feet and he got angry. The girls were so disappointed too. There were tears. But the cellar door was closed and locked. The children could not really believe that a tunnel as mysterious and yet so real could go unexplored. But deep down, they all knew that the opportunity would arise somehow, and Esme particularly was convinced that the ghost they had seen had an agenda, and that whoever he was, he would control whatever was to become.